Hello, everybody. Spider here, the Fight Card Podcast, coming to you from San Antonio, Texas, being joined by Brittani Vaughn. Brittani, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Just taking a break off of work.
No, and the last time also, this is the second time I've brought you on this. The first time it was an audio format, but the last time also, you at work on break, and I had to take a little break myself. But I wanted to bring you back on here. A lot has happened since the last time we spoke. One of the things I want to bring up is the fact that you are a transgender.
Yep.
You were born a male, transitioned into a female,
Yep.
and you're not the first one to be competing in mixed sport and combat sports. Of course, we talked earlier, Alana McLaughlin and Fallon Fox have also been doing that. But the big difference is the fact that you disagree with the fact that they're fighting women.
Yes, I do. The fact is, with both Elena McLaughlin and Fallon Fox, they spent a good 30 years of their life as, well, at least Elena definitely was in the military for a while. And then when she got out, that's when she started transitioning. And with Fallon Fox, she was in the Navy for a while. And I think she started transitioning a little bit after she got out as well. And you have to take into account, like, I know I'm stronger than the average woman, and I've been fighting in amateur boxing contests for about my whole transition, about 10 years. I've been fighting, and people have a problem dealing with me. So I know that if I did enter into the women's division, I'd do what they did. I would demolish everybody. And I just don't think it's fair, especially with other sports. And there's transgender women that are out here breaking, long records in the women's division. And they can say, oh, my T levels are this and this, and it's equal to a cis woman. Well, you also have a lot higher bone density, and your muscle, your whole structure is, you retain a lot of that.
Right.
And I just feel like it's cheap. I like a challenge when I fight. I really like a challenge, and if I wanted to go have an easy fight, I'd take a fight with a woman, but I'm opposed to it. It's cheating. Essentially, it's cheating.
You see, and the first time we talked, we had talked about a lot of that, because you had actually opted. You were actually looking to fight Alana at one time, and of course,
Yeah.
they declined it. They didn't want to fight, and
she wants me to be a pro before right. She takes a fight with me.
Yeah, you see, and of course, you're still in your amateur circuit. You competed with men in boxing and mixed martial arts. Now, let me ask you this: has it been hard for you to get opponents, or to get people to actually want to fight you?
Sometimes, yeah, it can be difficult to find someone that wants to fight me, but that really comes down to, it's not a fact that they don't really want to fight me. I'm sure they'd take a fight if I wasn't transgender, but I think a lot of my opponents that have pulled out, I've had quite a few opponents pull out of fights in the past, and really I think it just comes down to, they don't want to get that negative response, because some people will look at that and say, oh, well, you lost to a girl, or you beat up a girl. So it's kind of a lose-lose for some of them in their mind, I think. And so that's resulted in me, having people pull out of a fight quite a few times, three or four times so far. Just this past year, I've had fights lined up and people pulled out.
And you do have another fight lined up coming up.
I do. Well, that's going to be with New Line Cage Fighting. They're doing sort of a tough man style tournament, and I'll just be fighting. Should have one fight the first night, and then on April 2nd, I'll probably have 2 to 3 fights, depending on who shows up. So should be fun. Yeah, $1,000 to the winner in each division.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Base, of course, but yeah, I'm gonna go get that money. I'm gonna get that money.
Hey, let me ask you, when it comes to fighting, because right now you are fighting as an amateur. Are you looking at
Right.
turning pro in the future?
I am. I am. I just don't have enough amateur fights that the well, unless like in another state, I probably could with my tough man background, but in West Virginia, the state athletic commission,
Oh,
I don't know if I should talk about them because they
uh,
might flag.
oh,
From what I've been told, let's say it this way. From what I've been told, I can't turn pro until I've had 4 amateur fights. So
oh,
and my tough man fights don't count. That's what I've been told. Not so that's not. I don't know if that's what the state athletic commission has a rule, but that's what I've been told.
oh, yeah, and of course, I mean, fighting as an amateur. I mean, of course, it's more experience. So I mean, you're still looking to get more of that, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. We're if some of these opponents last year hadn't pulled out, and well, 2 this year pulled out, I'd have those 4 fights I needed to turn pro. So I mean, as soon as I feel like I've got enough, I figure I'll do like 5. I've got 1 now, so I just need to do like 3 more. That'll give me 4, maybe 5. If I've got a title fight, maybe I might take an amateur title fight up for my 5th one, and then I'm definitely gonna turn pro.
No, no, yeah. And the last time we spoke, also, you because you've been competing for 10 years, but
Yep.
in mixed martial arts, how long have you been training in MMA?
Yes. I'm just a 1 stripe white belt in jujitsu, but I do jujitsu competitions. I just did the Arnold's up in Columbus, and
Oh, that's
it I moved up a weight class because I was having trouble making weight. So uh, I was up against some pretty big dudes, like elite wrestlers. Like their arms were like as big as my legs, so like I got overpowered. I had some good matches, but I only won 1 of them out of 6. But
no.
I do have several West Virginia grappling gold medals.
Oh, there you go.
So I mean, I'm good in West Virginia, but I mean, there are some really good people at that tournament. So
No, no, and of course it was a bigger tournament, so of course more people, bound to show up and compete, right?
oh yeah, yeah, definitely. But I
And
mean,
let
I
me,
had fun time. I learned a lot. Learned a lot of holes in my game that I've been working on fixing. So I'm just trying to push forward, keep moving.
no, no, definitely. Now let me ask you, because that's one of the things, especially with women, when it comes to jujitsu, a lot of them don't have that much competition, so they have to go up a weight class. They have to.
Yeah.
Now, for yourself, when you do your tournaments, are a lot of them just men, or is it unisex? So you
Oh,
get to compete?
it's I've only ever grappled competitively with men. So but I train with a good group of girls at my gym, and we have a good time, teaching each other and learning from each other.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, on that note, I mean, would you be opposed to grappling a woman if it came to jujitsu?
Well, I had a friend of mine. She fights MMA, and she wanted me to go down to Tennessee to do this like tag team grappling match. And
Uh,
I at first I was like, just because she's my friend, I'll go help her out because she knows I'm good. But then I had some time to think about. It. I was like, it's kind of counterintuitive to my to what I'm trying to do. So
right.
I've had a couple opportunities to take a fight with. I mean, if they really wanted to, have a grappling match with me, I mean, I'll grapple with anybody, but I'm not gonna go out looking for it.
No, exactly. You see, and the reason I asked that is because even for us back in the day, I mean, I'm talking like 2002, 2004. A lot of my teammates would go and they would compete against women because nobody else was in the bracket, so they would match them up. And I had one friend of mine that was a blue belt, and he tapped out a purple belt from a good
Yeah,
school. He was all hyped
right.
up and excited, and a lot of people were kind of like, "Oh, well, you're a man. You grappled against a woman."
Yeah,
On that respect, she was a higher rank, and she was a good jiu-jitsu practitioner. I mean, we used to see her compete, and we are like, "Oh man!" But he definitely overpowered her, and but it's just it happened, and I mean, it just goes to show
distance, right?
because yeah, because when a woman grapples a guy
Yeah,
and they win, of course they're like, "Oh, I beat a man. I'm up here," and it's like okay, but then when it happens the other way, it's kind of like frowned upon. So it's just one of those things.
right.
No, but it does happen in jiu-jitsu. I mean, of course, I'm not sure
And
if
I
it
mean,
happens.
I've tapped out some higher belts than me that are female, you know. So I mean, yeah, I've experienced that as well. Like there's definitely a big physiological difference.
Right. No,
And
yeah.
I mean, I'm all for, like, you know, women being in, you know, transgender women being involved in other women's events, but not sports.
right.
It's just there's a lot of different advantages
No, no,
that
for sure.
that
And
you
let
have
me
to
ask,
take into account.
because your next fight that you have up coming up, is that going to be in boxing or MMA?
Yeah, just boxing.
Okay, okay,
My gym doesn't let us do MMA really until we're a blue belt.
okay.
So I mean, I'm close. You know, I look to be getting my blue belt. Uh, you know, at least around the fall, maybe the winter. Hopefully, you know, it's all how I do. You know, they
Right,
see
right.
me if they see me at that level, they'll give me my blue belt. So when I
I
get
mean,
there, I'll get there.
yeah, you see, and that's another thing because back in the day, I used to read articles, and I mean, jujitsu guys were like, you had to be at least a purple belt to compete in MMA. Where now it's kind of because you get collegiate wrestlers that get into MMA, it kind of skips that
Right,
format because they have that grappling pedigree.
right.
But a lot of sports are still like that. I mean, at least get your blue belt, get used to the grappling, get used to your basics, and then
I would feel
you know,
better if I had my blue belt in an MMA fight.
oh yeah,
You know,
because you'd have the skills. You know, I mean, there's a big difference when it comes to like a blue belt to a white belt, of course. You know,
oh,
because you get a lot of fundamentals and drills, and you know, spur of the moment, you can scramble and get into a better situation, let's say.
right.
But I mean, of course, so like we mentioned earlier, I mean, of course, when it comes to the transgender fighters, you know, Alana McLaughlin and Fallon Fox, like I have not heard anything from them. I don't know. I mean, I know Fallon
They
Fox had
caught too
retired.
much flack. I think they caught too much flack for what they've been doing. Well, I know Fallon Fox is like retired, from what I understand. But Elaine McLaughlin, yeah, I haven't heard anything since that Provost fight.
Yeah,
So
you see, and both fights were in Miami. I know Fallon Fox had fought for Bellator, I believe,
mhm,
and then McLaughlin had fought for Combate Global. You know, so
right,
even then, I think McLaughlin they had to get her an opponent from outside the country because they were having a
yeah,
hard time getting somebody to fight. So, but
yeah.
hopefully soon. You know, I mean, you're gonna be there if you decide to go pro and follow that. I mean, how are you looking to deal with that? Let's go there. Like if you go pro, I mean, of course you're gonna want to be competing against men.
Yeah.
Do you think it's still going to be hard for you to get opponents as a pro?
You know, just because the money will be there, I think it'll probably be a little easier because there'll be less. Because I mean, they sign the contract, they can't just like pull out randomly, you know. But with amateurs, it's hit and miss with this amateur racket around here, at least. Maybe no, maybe in bigger states it's not as prevalent, but around here it's tough because we don't get paid as amateurs until, you
Right.
know, you can get paid as a pro, but
Right.
that they don't let us get paid here.
No, no. I mean, here
Plus,
in Texas, also, I mean, amateur fighters don't get paid. A lot
yeah,
of them do get sponsors under the table, so they make some money.
yeah.
But when it comes to
I've
actually
got
getting
a
paid by the promoter,
sponsorship that just helps me out with my training and, you know, my tuitions for my gym and stuff. And, you know, if I need to run and go get some tape, they'll throw me enough money to, you know, go get what I need. You know,
no,
I need
definitely.
some new
No,
gloves or something. So I mean, I've got a sponsorship that helps me out a little bit with what I'm doing. So that helps out a lot.
for sure. I mean, I can imagine because yeah, it gets expensive after with gym fees and
Oh,
equipment and everything else. What gym are you training out of right now?
I still go to Ground Zero Fighting Systems out of Huntington, West Virginia.
Okay.
Got a lot of good black belts there, and we have classes all day, every day.
And of course, having that big a talent, I mean, of course, it's only a matter of time before the lower belts get ranked because y'all are
Yeah.
getting. I'm pretty sure y'all are getting demolished out there, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. We compete a lot. We have a good competition team right now, but
And now let me.
looking to
Well,
grow.
no, definitely. When it comes to this next fight, is that far from you, or is that also in West Virginia?
Yeah, it's in West Virginia. It's about an hour away from me, so
Yeah.
it's right up there.
And
I
then
don't
as far
know.
as
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh no, as far as the weight class, what weight class is that going to be at?
It's gonna be 139 and below.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, making
And
weight
as
to be a
far
little easier. Huh?
and as far as right now, training, everything's going great.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm doing 2 days about 3 times a week, and one a days the rest of the days. Today's my usual rest day, so
But you're still working, right? You said you're working on the house, so.
yeah, I'm hauling some shingles from around back my house and throwing them in the dumpster. It's a good leg day. I'm getting a
Oh
good
yeah.
leg work
Oh, you
for
see,
sure.
and that's my. If I get a day off, I'm stuck at home working, so I'd rather be out here making money, because they don't pay me at
Right.
home.
Yeah, for sure.
But of course, I mean, this promotion, because you've actually fought for them before, right?
Yeah, with New Line Cage Fight, I've had another fight with them, and it was my debut. I probably should have stuck with the fight that I originally was given with this kid named Julius Purdue. That probably would have gone a little better for me, but I was coming off a high from winning the West Virginia Grappling Open, and I decided to take on the championship belt holder for the 135-pound weight class in the amateur division.
Oh
And
man.
yeah, I wasn't quite ready. I took a good right and got dropped, and they called it. So only lasted about 45. But me and him had a rematch here at the last Tough Man event, and it was it was really close. It was a really close match. So we got our rematch. Now he's supposed to be fighting in this next tournament. So uh, the promoter told me, "Don't worry about it. We'll keep you all away until the championship. So I don't
Oh,
have to worry
nice.
about him till the end of the fights."
So you
You
get
know?
to run it again, huh?
Yeah, we get to run it the third time. We'll see what happens. He came out on points for the Tough Man, so I got runner up again
Oh,
this past year. So that's all right though. He needed the money more than I did. So
no, no. I mean, and of course, I mean that's after. I mean, doing the tough man competition. Of course, like you said, you all get paid. When it
yeah,
comes to amateur, of course, mixed martial arts, you don't. But
yeah,
so the rest of this year, I mean, hopefully you'll be able to get. Well, actually, after you get your blue belt, you'll be competing again, right, in mixed martial arts.
yeah. Definitely, I'll definitely be looking for an MMA fight. My promoters asked quite a few people to fight me in MMA, but I guess my reputation precedes me because nobody's wanted to take an MMA fight with me so
No,
far. The people he's asked in my weight class. So
you see, and of course, because you transition. I mean, when it comes to apparel, when you fight in women's apparel. I mean, I know I've seen your fights, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe as a man, I go in there, and it kind of, yeah. I mean, I can see how a lot of people kind of be like, okay, well, I don't want to, but I mean, you're there to fight, so of course, there's nothing against nobody. I mean, you want to go in there, get experience, so those willing to step up, of course, right? It's on the dotted line.
right. And like I said, I think when I turn pro, it'll be a lot better. I won't have people pulling out on fights with me. They'll kind of be committed.
No, no, definitely, and I hope so because I mean, if there's one thing right now, it's of course to get experience. I mean, if when COVID happened, a lot of fighters I noticed on my end was a lot of them like when everything opened up, a lot of them went pro because they were like, man, I already lost a year. Like I'm not even gonna wait another year. I'm already up there in age, and so a lot of fighters decided to go pro, and they've been doing good so far. So I'm kind of like, well, maybe mentally they were ready. I mean, they were still training when they could, but you want to get in there and get that experience as an amateur and then go pro and hopefully start stacking wins.
And I mean, going pro opens up a whole new, you know, uh, league of opponents for me. And if I turn pro, maybe I can get some more sponsorships and actually start traveling out of state and get even more fights. Get some get maybe on some big cards. Hopefully,
Yeah, and
uh,
that's one of the things too, because when Alana McLaughlin, like when she fought, there was a lot of buzz. I mean, a lot of
oh yeah,
people were talking about the matchup, and of course, if and when you decide to go pro and you go that route, I mean, sponsors, it's going to open up a lot more opportunity for you to get bigger sponsors because they're going to see you in the news and be like, you know what, let's get behind this and see what happens, because but yeah, I mean, myself as a fight fan, I mean, I wish the best for you. I hope you get those matches. I hope you once you get your blue belt, You
Yeah.
keep shooting high, and if you decide not to fight, I mean, of course, keep training and keep going. I mean, because if you decide not to go towards mixed martial art, you're still going to be competing in jiu-jitsu, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going to be trying to do jujitsu well into my old age.
Oh yeah, man. You see, hopefully for me, I'm up there in age. I'm actually in my mid 40s, but I haven't trained in years. But yeah, I mean, I hope to one day be able to get on the mat and see what I can do without throwing my hip out.
Right, right. Yeah, I'll probably for my first few MMA fights, I'll probably try to go through B2 if you've heard of that fight league. Probably try to go through them because that's where most of the people from my gym have been fighting for.
Oh man, yeah, they're traveling with their promotion and they're picking
Yeah.
up a lot of fighters. I'm been impressed with
We
that promotion.
yeah we have some of those the fights up in Somerville and Lexington. Those are really the only ones that anyone from our gym's done. But I mean, yeah, I've seen they got fights all over. So I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
and they got some good fighters on their card. So I mean, and I think it would be a lot better exposure for me because it's a bigger promotion than New Line. Not to say anything bad about New Line. I mean, they're pretty local, and I mean, they gave me a shot when no one else would. So I mean, I gotta. If they find me an MMA fight, yeah, I'll take it definitely. But I'm looking to be on some bigger cards so I can
Oh,
get myself out there.
yeah, and no disrespect to anybody, like you said, because I mean, there's promotions out there that get a lot more views, get a lot more hits, and of course, you want to do that. With BT Promotion, I know the fighting series. I have two friends that are actually working the road crew, so they've been out
Okay.
there posting fights, posting video clips. So I mean, they're doing a great job. I'm impressed with
We
them,
just had
and
three wins at this last Somerville event. We just had 3 wins out of our gym. Hunter
oh, for the
Mead, Sebastian Morris, and Tyreek. Forgot Tyreek's last name. I'm sorry, but yeah, they all had good finishes early on in the bout. So I mean, we've got some up and comers to look out for.
no, you see, and that's great because I mean, of course, they go out there and win. They come back and they give you guys experience, right? I mean,
Oh yeah,
there's
yeah.
a lot of technique that's to be shared. So
Tyreek actually punched the paint off of the gloves. He hit the dude so hard. The
yeah.
paint was like all scuffed up on his right glove. He's a big fella for
Oh
sure.
no, yeah, I've been watching the promotion. Like I said, I mean, my buddies have been streaming it, so I've been watching what I can.
Yeah.
But Brittany Vaughn, I do appreciate you coming on here again, and I'm gonna be reaching out to you one more time, I'm sure. But
All
I
right.
want to thank you. Get your 2 cents out there when it comes to transgenders and MMA, of course, or combat sports. But I wish you the best,
All
and
right.
hopefully after this win, we'll bring you back on here.
All right. It sounds like a good plan.
All right,
See ya.
don't hang up. Don't hang up yet. Everybody
Okay.
out there, the podcast. Till next time, follow up.